guys, welcome to another video. This week I'm going to be making some melted crayon art. I have a rainbow of crayons and some 11 by 14 inch canvases, as well as a hot glue gun. And I'm going to get started. I'm just going to start by getting all my crayons out. I did end up getting quite a few boxes of crayons just because I want to make sure I had enough of each of the colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So this first project I'm going to use 5 of each color crayon, and I'm just going to hot glue them along the top of the canvas. The crayons aren't a perfect fit along the 11-inch side, so I am making sure to space them out evenly as I go. And for this next part, I would make sure you're in a well-ventilated area before taking out your hairdryer. I would also recommend putting down something on the table that you're working at or in the area that you're working at so that you don't get wax everywhere. I'm just going to put down some parchment paper before I start melting any of the crayons. I set the hairdryer to low speed and its hottest temperature. Despite how fast this makes it look, it actually took quite a while for the crayons to start melting, and it seemed like certain crayons would melt faster than other crayons, even if they were the same color. And occasionally I'd get crayons that would spit and splatter when they started to melt instead of just running down the canvas. Overall, I think it turned out pretty cool. It's definitely something I've seen on a lot of other videos before that I wanted to try. And I probably could have kept going with this and maybe get the drips to go to the end of the canvas, but I kind of liked how this looked, so I stopped here. I thought it might be cool to use some crayon shavings to create some abstract art as well, so I used some crayons and a pencil sharpener to do that. And this was really my trial run because I wasn't sure how this was going to work. So after all the colors were on the canvas, I took a piece of parchment paper and covered the canvas, and I set my iron to medium heat and just went over the parchment paper to melt the crayon. I didn't want to melt the crayon for too long because I was worried that the colors would start to muddy. As you can see here, they did start to muddy a little bit, but I still had pretty distinct colors in most of the areas. Taking this a step further, I wanted the design to be a little bit more intentional, so I did draw out the shape of a butterfly before placing the crayon shavings. But similar to before, I'm just using the pencil sharpener to make the crayon shavings, and then I'm just going to go over this with the parchment paper and the iron to melt the crayons. And I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week.